Hola, amigo. I see you haven't used that big iron on your hip for a long while. Well, I myself never even touch mine. I channel all that energy into never before seen levels of creativity, such as in the title of this video. It is real. It all started with a simple thought. What if I modded this game to be as realistically hardcore as possible, like a Milsim harder than Tarkov gunfight Bamboozler simulator, and then did a full run of the aptly nicknamed Kill Everyone. Yeah, I can't really think of anything better to do. We're just literally killing every single person in the game. Besides this being the funniest thing ever, I'm mainly doing it because this is one of the few games that allows you to kill solely at your discretion, but vanilla is a bit discombobulated. To fix this, I tried many different realistic damage mods and multipliers, and tested everything consecutive times on Pete's hardened forehead. I will be explaining the mods as we go through this deranged mass murder odyssey. Basically, everything revolves around Lone Star and ballistics. After conducting this diligent scientific method research, I concluded we only really needed these two core mods and some 186 complementary mods. Ballistics will make bullets behave exactly how bullets do, with projectile speed and damage dictated by physics. As a consequence, conical-shaped lead traveling faster than sound does what you would expect to flesh and bone. No damage multipliers needed. Besides that, you just need to remove all remaining traces of Todd Howard from your game, with standardized damage and health to remove the scaling, new blood for the localized damage, and Lone Star to tidy up everything else to be harder. New Vegas is now hardcore realistic. You play as a FedEx delivery man recently turned mentally handicapped, clinically insane new age cowboy. Mentally handicapped because half your brain had to be picked up by pieces of the dirt and put back inside. So we will be role-playing this peculiar intellectual disability, which doesn't stray much further from my actual cognitive abilities. Why clinically insane? Well, we are more of what you would call schizophrenic. There are multiple voices inside my head and all they tell me is to kill more people.
Kill them. Kill everyone.
Why? I don't know. I have always been like this. It has something to do with auditory perceptions of sounds or voices that occur without external stimuli, and chronic mental illness. Too many words for me to understand. Just don't mind them. I am in complete control of my actions.
What is it?
Big iron on his hip.
But before heading into this misbegotten mud hole of its own, there's this dog patches up. Bless his steaming heart. I drew wire and played the one square in his noggin. Figured that was the clearest way to show the poor bads what kind of hell I just clawed my way out of. We relieve him of his belongings. Just good manners, really. We'll do the same to every two-leg creature we meet. And yeah, we walk funny, as you would expect from a deranged, retarded lunatic. Just don't use the obviously incompatible walking animation mods if you don't like having fun, I guess. Sandy Cheeks here will be helping us secure some provisions for the foreseeable future. We need plenty of food and water because we're also on hardcore mode. Before that, she needs to teach us how to shoot. And shooting became hard. How? It's not solely because I'm bad at aiming. Use Iron Sight FOV adjuster to remove the computer neck fake zoom from aiming down. Add in B42 recoil, which has the best recoil system any game can use. More realistic aiming, which will add weapon sway according to your condition. Iron sight inertia, which adds realistic gun barrel lining up. And smooth true iron sights, that makes your weapon have some weight to be brought up to shoulder instead of just snapping instantly. And all of these together will result in you immediately becoming trash because you left your gun skill at 17. Combine these with the following mods and your new Vegas will become a better shooter than 99% of modern games. We go hunt some of Zook's family members to ensure our nourishment. I mean, Sandy does everything. I just stand behind her in awe of how my eardrums are almost popping thanks to Bullet Snap Redux and GRSR Sounds mod. YouTube might protect your hearing and not let you marvel at the gunshots in their full glory, but I did not reduce the volume on my end. The ringing is part of the hardcore. Look how the dog gets dabbed on by this lizard. Yeah, I could have helped, but bullets are expensive and meat is meat. Hey, no need to be so dramatic, little dog. You won't be needing that steak anymore. Now we just need to pick up some plants to get some easy healing powder. The first one is right next to where we were sleeping.
Is this?
Our grave,
Are you really still alive?
where we were born again.
Many will pay for this.
Second one, by the school. And here you have it, Sandy Cheeks. Strolling back to the saloon, I reckon it's time to school these folks on how to sell a wad of words properly. What is no good varmint Ringo steering up all the ruckus. He moses up inviting me to a round of caravan cards. I toss all my coin in the pot, but I ain't got a lick of sense about this fool game, so I bail out of it. And that snake keeps every last cent, except he don't keep my money. or nothing else for that matter. This here's a right pretty little town. So many folks gathered in one spot. Their noggins all lined up nice and clear in my sights.
Stop that! I'm not saying that. I've seen what's going on. I knew it.
All sandy chicks here didn't go down with one shot, but that's fine. Second bullet sends her packing easy enough. That's half the town right there. All settled down in the shadow of the valley, if you catch my drift. Pete, he had the brains to skedaddle off the porch, but not ever so quick on the uptake. Take that vendor for instance. Must have heard the 20-odd gunshots ringing out, yet he still buys up all the blood-splattered whiskey I clearly just wiped from the bar next door. We spent the next 20 minutes looking for hiding Pete. I searched every single house in this shithole, even looked up where the old man lived on the internet. I was almost giving up when there he was, loafing on the front porch again, cool as a cactus, not giving a hoot about nothing around him. With Goodsprings now devoid of life forms, it's time to follow the next traces of civilization. It seems someone had the same idea as we did. I don't know. You can try explaining to me what just happened here. We are extorted 100 caps to get inside the prison and get started on a couple of quests the new manager gives us. First job they send me on, I plug 4 no-account fellas without so much as a wire as a wherefore. Quicker to do than to yammer about. You know, I plumb love the feel of this here nuclear blasted 60s American Wild West desert, especially the part where I can let my free will run wild, getting paid to send folks to their maker. Ain't no lawman or monopoly on violence around these parts to rein me in. The next killing job was on this fella just lazing about. Turns out he had his own murder contract on my new boss. Anyhow, I reckon he was dreaming big. Mighty big, seeing as I already had my 357 Magnum pressed squared against his chest. No, I won't be capable of taking on the whole prison by myself, so I will have to get a little help from the NCR, which means I must get inside a town full of maniacs such as myself, so I can learn of the NCR's intentions and start a quest to wipe out the prison. And this is why I wouldn't be able to take on the powder gangers right now. Holy shit, this game became hard. I tried everything. Not even the safe scam was able to help me with this one, so I just had to go back to the bridge and deal with them as slowly and meticulously as humanly possible. A single shot is all it takes, depending where it hits. You know, there is a thing with localized damage mods in this game. If, say, there is a 3 times multiplier in your head, the NPCs in this game will have no reason whatsoever to shoot anywhere else but your head. To fix that, you need a GIP localized damage fix to clear up New Blood's oversight, so your enemies will distribute their bullets evenly through your body. You will still be dying to one shot anyway without armor, but at least your funeral won't need a closed coffin. A good half an hour later and they're all dead and I'm still alive. We get the information we needed by bribing this old man and are invited to help the NCR's attack on the prison. Now, we can trigger the attack in 2 ways. One would be helping the soldiers start invading from the outside. Kind of dumb and risky. My strategy is a little different. See, we can stir up the ruckus by squinting on the NCR and tipping off the boss about what's coming. Now, the NCR is gonna burr under their saddle for me too, but I ain't helping none of them. Instead, I just chuck a lead stick of dynamite right where the boss is holed up with his stoutest gunslingers and slam the door shut. Yep, that's settled their hash. Now I just gotta pick off these small fry goons as they come stumbling up the stairs. Sleeping out of the compound, the NCR's already gone and finished the job for me. All I gotta do is skedaddle quiet like. Yeah, things are getting a bit confusing around here now. We chill around until the NCR leaves and finish clearing up the places they forgot to. Now we need to do some work on Primm. First, we go through the building on which the deputy is being held hostage. We were promised some caps to get him out, but most importantly, this will unlock the trader I need to free up all the crap I'm carrying around.
Let's kill someone. It'll be fun.
Fuck it. Let's do it.
I am a little embarrassed to say this, but when I was helping myself to some of their things, something funny happened. This was the deputy I was meant to rescue. I thought this would prevent me from trading with the old man, but he didn't even mind it. After selling everything I was hoarding, I started planning how to take all of these people out. By planning, I mean I just hole up in the room and start gunning down the nearest vermin. Now, even though half of them got blown up to Kingdom Come by the TNT, this blasted robe was a damn sight tougher than you wreck. No matter how many sticks of dynamite I hurled at that infernal contraption, wouldn't take a lick. Only thing left was to blast its arms, then the parts it uses to wreak havoc. With every last one of them sent to meet their
there, maker. That old casino heap of riches was sitting there without a soul to claim it. So I up and settled that matter right quick, making myself the new boss of the pile. As I am hightailing it out of there, I run into them no good NCR troopers who didn't lift a finger to help me clear out the bandits in town. Reckon they'll be more useful pushing up daisies in the dirt.
We proceed through the highway to the next town, not without having to guarantee our bodily integrity a few times along the way though. We won't be messing with the Legion, for now, them being based and all that. So we just take a quick look at their artwork and keep moving. Now just after the Legion's exposition we are met with an enemy we are completely incapable of dealing with just yet. We urgently need better armor and weapons. I mean, the best armor and weapons, which are expensive, very expensive. But I have a plan to solve all that. You see, the only reason you aren't rich yet is because you haven't been gambling enough. And as so happens, we are right next to the gambling capital of the earth. So we are taking the shortcut this game tries to prevent us from taking so we can start gambling as soon as possible. The cazadores are only really scary when you don't have a 5.56mm air-cooled gas-operated rotating bolt magazine-fed assault rifle. These ones here are a little bit more scary. Alright, I'm just boating my way straight to the strip. I just tripped and died. That's the helpless falling mod. It makes you fall helplessly. Very funny. Okay, this time my neck did not break, so we can resume boating straight to the strip. We have a showdown with some highwaymen and realize there isn't much left of our body. We are sandwiched between dead claws and organized crime. Waiting for the comfort of daylight in that shantytown, we can finally move on again. Is this entire video going to consist of killing and stealing in different ways, shapes and forms? You shall not steal, you shall not kill. Such words were once called holy. Before them people bowed their knees and heads and removed their shoes. But I ask you, where have there ever been better thieves and killers in the world than such holy words have been? Is there not in all of life itself robbing and killing? And when such words were called holy, was not truth itself thereby killed? All of this is very comforting to me, very familiar to my own hometown. With the 2000 caps I have accumulated by wisely investing my bullets, we can get into the degenerate zone of the strip. Let me teach you something. The game with the best odds in any casino, the one you should be playing, is blackjack. Now, because the house will still have a 1% advantage over you, you should just bet everything in one go so you have the best odds of winning. Unfortunately, the maximum amount they will allow me to bet is 200 caps. But, just like my old pal the dog said, with luck like mine I'm surprised them bullets didn't just turn right around and climb back into the gun. You don't need to overcomplicate this. You'll make money so fast the casinos won't take long to ban you from gambling. Just go to the next casino and empty them out as well. Just hit until you get to 16, then stop. If you're taking more than 10 minutes per casino, you are doing something wrong. I cashed out my 27,000 caps and went to get the good stuff at the gun runners. All we really need here is a fully automatic rifle for the rabble and an anti-material rifle for the big boys. You will see why we also need armor-piercing bullets later on. We also get the best armor money could buy to increase our survivability twofold. Now, instead of getting one tapped, we can even survive 2 bullets. Occasionally. Back to that valley road pass, I showed the guys who were throwing explosive shit at me what's up. My new toys were a really good investment. Getting through the southern part of the map was proving to be harder and harder. I'm getting ambushed every 50 meters or so. When you see me shooting all wrong like this is because my arm is hanging by a strip of flesh from getting shot so much. We finally get to Nova. 3 kick shots into Andy's noggin. Chewing breeze comes back. That sniper fella gave me a heap of trouble, I ain't gonna lie, but he drops like the rest. Them's the only ones in town with any soldiery know-how. The rest, easy pickings. Have to go door to door, clearing them out. I still ain't got a clue where these voices rattling around my head are coming from, whispering like ghosts in the desert wind. Then I plant a 50 BMG round squaring out of Straw's chest. Only goes and tears her arm. Reckon you ain't grabbing that rifle to take a shot at me now. Well, ain't that a side matter? Ever figured of one wild maniac shooting up the holder? There was still a mass of folks holed up in the houses around town, so I had to burst in and mow them down with a hail of automatic gunfire. Even spotted a deaf and dumb super mutant wandering around, aimless as a tumbleweed. Reckon the big gun will do the trick just fine with these ones. You know, the only real challenge about this run is that all the different factions don't approve of our depopulation agenda that much, and having to fight people who actually know how to handle firearms is much harder than killing innocent and unprepared people where they sleep. I was stuck on this highway fighting off all these different guys who were trying to kill me for a good 10 minutes. I don't even know how many I had to kill to keep going, but keep going we did. You might be wondering why this carbine isn't one-shotting people in the head. Well, that's because this is actually an airsoft gun, shooting 5mm pellets. We met a traveling cowboy down by the road just before Boulder City. He told us his sad story about how his dad had left him and how he was now wandering around. That the only thing he still had was this old guitar. So I snatched up his old guitar and this big galoo takes offense, quick as a rattler, calling me out for a showdown right in and there. We add a few more notches to the memorial, wet our whistles at the saloon, and haggle with Doc's brother, who's snoozing behind the counter like a hound in the sun. Continuing on our path, we eventually get to the intersection and meet Veronica and some traders. Veronica is going to be following me now, because why not? At a nearby camp, we were just about to pull the old trick again on this NCR woman when my gun jammed. I guess Veronica won't be following us anymore. From now on, we are going to be clearing up the rest of the NCR camps to the east, and as I imagine this is getting a bit monotonous, I will just tell you about some other mods along the way. We are using virtually every single one of the B42 mods. Inject makes it so you have to manually use medicine instead of it being instantaneous. Interact makes it so you have to interact. And Inspect gives you a real-time way to check your weapon's ammo and condition. The last B42 mod, Drop Mag, is the most hardcore of them all, as it will make you drop every single round still in the magazine when reloading it. I was having to crouch down every time I reloaded, but this becomes less of a hurdle when you are a rich gambler. The increased weapon jamming mod may seem just arbitrarily hard, but it actually makes it so your weapon can jam at any given shot instead of only at the first shot, making using worn weapons unpredictable instead of annoying. Now, for the artificial intelligence of your opponents, all that you need are the enhanced NPC awareness and immersive recoil NPC mod. The first one makes it so they can actually see you from afar, and the latter makes it so they will empty their mags in your general direction if they are close to you, or fire shorter bursts if they are far away. Well, howdy there, darling.
We should have you tried, and then killed on the spot.
Reckon I'm gonna start up a hornet's nest. Thought I could just sashay into the NCR's regional HQ under the moon's glow and clear it out slick as a whistle. Seems the whole dang outfit woke up, and now they got me pinned down in this here narrow hallway, tired than a steer in the chute. My blasting shooting iron's jamming up again, confounded. Good thing I can always count on my big old reliable to spit loud when the chips are down. As you probably already saw, the weapons interact. As you probably already saw, the weapons interact physically with boundaries, getting protracted instead of phasing through matter. You can thank first-person weapon collision for that. Coupled with insurgency-style hipfire, your guns will actually behave like real guns, shooting where the barrel of the gun is pointed at and giving you some wiggle room to adjust your aim instead of just shooting the precise center of your screen. Clearing out Hoover Dam was a tougher nut to crack. One of them having hundreds of troopers, some even clanking around in power armor like walking tin can. But ain't nothing few-placed mines and armor-piercing airsoft pellets can handle quickly. Feeling ornery as a signed winner, I reckon I'll clean out the Legion camp too. And make damn sure to put every last soul in the ground, prisoners and all.
You killed my kin. Why is this?
You know, I never get tired of this. I need to actually go to Doctor's house before I can get to their main encampment though. For the camp to unlock, I need that chip I seem to have lost, and now this Benny guy has it. How will I get the chip from Benny and his 4 bodyguards if they won't let me come in with any weapons? Well, to Benny's surprise, I have an imaginary 44 Magnum revolver which just happens to have the exact amount of bullets I need to take them all out. Now, I need to kill everyone else in this fucking casino. But when has that ever stopped me? Since I'm at it already, I'll just take the opportunity to kill everyone else in the strip as well. That includes the other casinos such as SpongeBob's classical music playing Madhouse, the Vault Hotel and the NCR station. You know, I always have to come back to this doctor, and there is always this one Crimson Caravan guard who comes after me for some reason. This was starting to be annoying, so I decided to put an end to this and cut the source of evil by the roots. While I was vacating their houses though, I found the best ever weapon in the game, the lever action Saint Ragdoll's flying shotgun. If you want to have a taste of how fun shooting someone can really feel like, just grab this 20 gauge 138-year-old shotgun. You won't be disappointed. Back in the strip, we are in the last casino I need to clear out, the Gomorrah. A very peculiar place, but I'm not here to judge. I'm here to kill, and it's time for me to grow. Look, I might only be showing parts of this, but I did actually kill every single person in this game. Here you go, Dr. House. Here's your retarded ship. Actually, I'm not giving it to you. I am relocating you to the shadow of the valley as well. Now, to meet Caesar, we take this little raft here from this nice fella and get immediately spawn camped, blasted by the guards. What wonderful game design. Now it was just a matter of munching through a wave of non-degenerates who were spamming grenades and lances and rushing me non-stop. Kaiser's stand, on the other hand, was much easier because he and all his bodyguards all thought using weighted bracelets for punching as weapons would be a good idea.
That's one less wall also in the wasteland. Good job.
Since we are here already, I'm going to get ahead of myself and activate my army of ChatGPT robots. Back in the strip, I had to revisit the tops to get my friend. Yes, man. Yes, man. I did visit everyone. Actually, I did forget about some factions. The first one I went to deal with were the boomers. It's kind of hard to get to them, but I'm not paying 300 caps to this guy to tell me some bullshit when I can just beeline my way there with my sprinting mod. By the way, you should use enhanced movement and turn off its leaning feature in favor of the B42 version. Also add in NPCs sprint, so they can also do that. And faster walking, slower running, for the movements to be realistic. Yeah, no, not that much realistic, like just like this. You just walk faster and run slower. After I attentively learned their culture and history, I started ending it as I saw fit. The problem came when I got to the canteen and found virtually half of them there having lunch. What problem? Just the fact that every single one of them is carrying some form of explosive throwing device which instantly tears off one of my limbs apart as soon as it hits the ground anywhere close to me, but I did manage to take care of them. I'm getting out of synonyms for killing in the barracks and doing quick surgeries on some of their legs. Okay, we can finally move on to the Great Khans. Here, the biggest challenge was actually just finding them. They were in the shittiest house on the ugliest peak of the smelliest cliff. We hear some of their rambling and dispatch of them equally after getting bored. Oh wait, I'm forgetting to do my unhinged Texan accent. We overhear their yammering, but it wears steam fast. So we blast them all the kingdom gone without trusty old scattergun once we're fed up. To get a full range of realistic sounds, use the following mods on the screen right now. They are on a spectrum of Tarkov gun handling sounds all the way to movement and ambient sounds. Those really make a big difference. Now all that is left is the Brotherhood of Steel ops. They live in this secret bunker right here. I would have liked to have simply walked in and just initiate the self-destruction of the bunker, which would kill everyone inside without a sweat. But the frontman told me to let go of all of my weapons. I had no other choice but to blast them all with my titanium-tipped PD. The hard part here was the 9 indestructible and obviously unbalanced turrets, which I had to grind down for a good chunk of my life. And then the second layer of the bunker, in which they were all spawn camping me right by the door. This prompted me to, in return, also make use of the revolutionary strategy of hopping between dimensions while dumping mags on the head of the first one I could put my sights on and going back. You see, I need 3 key cards to destroy the bunker, but I couldn't find one of them and had to keep looking for it among the little pieces of corpses. I was almost giving up when I finally found it in a severed arm, which seems to be all that is left of the head paladin, with the ops hood turned into an eternal underground barbecue. All that is left to do is activate my army of ChatGPT robots, now enhanced with swarm homing missile launchers from their shoulders, which apparently is the sole function of this retarded chip that the entire story revolves around. Now these are the followers of the apocalypse or something. They take care of refugees and treat people for free, but for some reason they charged me for treatment multiple times. I didn't need a reason to show them some of my own charity, but now that they gave me one, I'm not going easy on them. Hey Ganon, did you know that the Legion approves of male friendship much more than the NCR does? A friend of mine told me so. With this out of the way, we are ready to inform Yesman that every single person that lived here is now dead and we are well on our way to get the worst ending possible. We just need to do some bullshit in the dam and then fight the dumbest boss battle I've ever seen in the Legion camp. I don't think I forgot any mods. You can find the complete list in a very inconvenient .doc linked below, together with my full load order. If you are going to try playing this out, and I very much recommend you do, follow the Viva New Vegas guide to set up everything and just drop my mods below everything. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.